Hi, this is Ralph Kubek. It's around 58 minutes past the hour. We appreciate everyone for joining early, but as we normally do, we'll get started about 2 minutes past the hour. That way we'll give people who had some issues getting in to the meeting, allow them to join. So I'm going to go back on mute for a couple more minutes. Hi, this is Ralph. It's the top of the hour. Appreciate everyone being here. As we generally do, we get started about 2 minutes after the hour. That way we appreciate the time and get started for those of you who are here, but giving people 2 extra minutes many times just deals with the need for them to update Teams and those other meeting services to get in. So I'm going to go on mute for about another 30 seconds or so. Hello, this is Ralph again. My clock just moved to the 2 past the hour. Being in the Chicagoland area, that means it's 12:02. And we see quite a few people here. We'll get started as normally we do, is if you have questions, put them into the questions area, and we will try to cover those as well as over the next 24 hours or so. Once the recording is converted, we'll be sending out to everyone that did attend. So let's just get started. We're pretty excited. We're continuing to move forward, adding new features and functionality and improving usability. And clearly 24R2 gives us that capability. So we just wanted to spend a little bit of time going through what's new. We're going to talk a little bit about where we just stand in the Acumatica community. Recap some of the major 24R1 features, what we're doing in 24R2, which is available, and we'll take a look at a few new features. We'll probably look at some old features too. For those of you that know me, many cases these end up being Ralph beginning to show a variety of things and having his ADD indicate we're going to go back and forth, not just the items that were on the list. We're then also going to talk about 25 R1 and beyond, and again, put questions, etc., into the system. So people know me. There's my face made for radio and for displays like this. We continue to grow and expand. With this slide deck was finished about 2 weeks ago. We are now, I think, at 140 or a couple short of 140 QMS sites. They're scattered throughout many industries. Aeronautics, defense, all of those people that generally have situations where they do have quality requirements, ISO requirements. People here that we're just part of the solution in terms of quality, right? We handle testing and a variety of those items, but there's a number of things related to quality that already exist within Acumatica: security, document control, etc. We've been fortunate enough in the Acumatica community to win a few awards over the last couple of years. We are very much focused in on getting ready for Summit 2025, and hopefully we'll be able to add to that list, both with regards to what we're doing as well as the commitment and help we get from our partners. 24R1 might be old news for some people, but it could be new news. It's also based upon how people are moving forward. Not everyone wants to update as soon as something comes out. The major things that have been done is we now have a combo box on tests. I'm going to show that really relate, and some people have not necessarily picked up on it. It's really making data entry in control much easier, particularly as we think of things like color, etc. There is now a complete history for all the non-stacked items when we're doing the testing. We can now regenerate a QC order if something were to fail. Prior, we're making 10 and we finish 10 and we reject 2. The system did not easily deal with the fact that someone was going to retest the 2 that were rejected. That has now been addressed. So could be features, or could be enhancements, could be fixing product gaps, what some people might view. There's no more restrictions on transfers that relates to shipping. The shipping process, as people know, how Acumatica handles allocations during shipping. It gets kind of tricky in allocations, and we've addressed that. So there should be no issues with that anymore. We're improving dashboards, both the inspection and other dashboards. We'll look at, we're adding colors and other things. Although I would say in terms of when you look at this list, we could probably always have improved dashboards on here, because we're always going to be working on that in reports. But as I say, and some people have seen me in meetings, as soon as we create a report that everyone likes, i.e. maybe a dashboard that everyone likes, it's useless to everyone because it has everything. Therefore, no one wants everything. They just want your data. So we'll continue to improve upon those. We'll continue to make certain that we're all of the current Acumatica improvements are embedded into our dashboards. But again, dashboards, I think, are individualistic. So we'll never have the perfect dashboards for everyone. So that's what we did in 24R1, along with a list of some other things. 24R2, we have expanded the capability of having non-conformance and corrective and preventive actions for things other than items. We'll go through the process. Quite a few entities are now using quality to validate machinery that it meets its specifications. And if something were to fail, we need to be able to address those. So it can now be addressed on non-stacked items, as well as when we're doing something with tooling or machines or assets. So that it now completes that loop, again, relating to some organizations that need NC and CAPA to address or let people know what they're going to do when something fails. You can now do that all over the system. We'll look at ad hoc orders. Ad hoc orders used to be a lot of clicking, and it should know a little bit more about what we're doing. So you'll see some enhancements as we go through that. Um, Ad hoc transfers for when used. People know in the Acumatica world, and we're going to use an example of a TV. If I'm a TV distributor, I might well assign a serial number when that's being shipped for recall and other purposes, but I don't want to serialize it when it comes in, right? I get 300 TVs in, and I really don't care from a cradle to grave life cycle aspect. So we're now allowing you to do that, and that will help some of our clients that want to just do testing more related to how well vendors were providing them information or the quality of their product. Um, we now have the capability of posting a QC order without inventory transfer. Um, Again, whether this is an enhancement or working through the product the way end users do is always subject to interpretation. But people know that in order to do an inventory transfer after we finish a QC order, we're moving it from, let's just say, quarantine outward. We know that there's some end users, for a variety of reasons, that don't always put the controls on that particular QC bin location to prevent transfers because of other things they're doing. So in some cases, things were just kind of locked in QC, right? How do I get them out? Because we're not going to allow you to do an inventory transaction. It's not there. So now you could actually post without needing to do an inventory transfer. I think people need to be very cautious of this. I think the correct operating procedure should not allow you to be able to do that, but it's there, and we could explain a little more about why we're doing that. Pass on all types of QC. I should say it's going to be by QC type, which you'll see in the setup. This is our beginning entree to deal with lot skipping, which a number of our clients have asked for. Lot skipping is, let's just say we got a lot in today, lot number one, it came in, it passed. Maybe tomorrow the same lot comes in and I don't want to test it because I tested it yesterday. But in some cases, if it came in tomorrow or next week, I might want to test it again. So there's all kind of rules behind lot skipping that we're building out. This is just at least a functionality to be allow the end user to say, I don't want to push this into QC. And you'll see that setup. The reason why we are doing this, but we have more work to do on lot skipping, just to make you aware, is that there's some people, let's just say if we're in the drug industry or the nutraceutical industry, they might do lot skipping, as I just described. However, some people say that it's really the quality people that need to do that lot skipping. So our initial entree into this was that for everything that was received, we would create a QC order, but then there is a way to, for lack of a better term, post that QC order without having all the testing being done, so that again, it was quality signing off that they didn't need to inspect it versus the operating people. So we're now to the point of being able to do that. We can now indicate that something doesn't need to go into QC at all. And then again, we're going to be building out some more functionality in future releases to kind of have better goals, better ideas of how we could actually do lot skipping. Hopefully I clicked. There we go. A major issue for us is this capability to set testing at a sample, lot, or order level. The example is we're getting some items in, and let's just say one of the tests is, did we get the C of A? Before we began to do this, if I had 15 samples, I would have to and ask that question all the time. And if it all came in with the same lot number, right, I don't have to ask that, right? Because if it comes in for the lot number, we should be able to say yes to the lot number and all 15 samples would apply. So that's going to handle that piece. The order piece is one step above the lot. Let's just say we do a receipt today and we get lots in, and both those lots might be covered by the same C of A. Well, before we did this, as you know, in the QC order page, you still get 2 lines because I have to evaluate lot 1 and lot 2. So you still had to do some clicking. Now we're saying, okay, well, it could actually be at the order level. This usability capability, as we move on to the next one, what the test unit and measure is, we'll see this when we're in the grid. One of the feedback was that we're looking at a numeric range, and some cases people didn't know it was degrees, weight, pounds, so we have the capability of doing that. Much like we had QC issues when someone was rejecting things, there was some things that were going on in the background when we overproduced QC. So now I could order 10 and I could make 15 and still do all the QC checking needed for those extra 5. And then we do a little better job in terms of supporting multiple lots on the move screen to make things a little easier for the end user to move through. Next is we're going to take a sneak peek. Part of what the team asked me to do was to go through the non-conformance and corrective action process for tools, machines, etc. And we're going to do that. Also, how to look at ad hoc order enhancements. So we'll be looking at a couple different areas of the product, but rest assured it's only 12:15, and we're going to spend a few minutes looking at some other items other than just those 2 things. So I'm going to, this is the hardest part of my session today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing, and now the screen goes blank, and now I'm going to go in reshare, and at least on a different system that I could see out of the corner of my eye, I can now see that there's a quality screen that's on the screen. So I'm going to go through kind of the order that not necessarily was listed, but the order that I think is of value, and to begin to show people what we've done. I'm going to go into QCers, and we've always had alphanumeric tests, right? In terms of being able to handle them, but alphanumeric meant a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at order number. Thought it was 1501. Nope, there it is. It hasn't been started. So what's a combo box? Well, we always had alphanumeric, so I could go in here and type red, and it's going to let me know it's passed. I could have had some different colors there, but you know, as Ralph can't type, I'm going to misspell something, and you know, then what's the user going to do? What we really knew, and we've known this for a long time, is that when people are looking at colors, etc., right? You might have a list of colors, and now let's have the person choose. They choose white, and that happens to pass. But if I choose green, it's going to let me know failed. So a combo box is any of those things where you want the capability to have people select among many things, and then we're going to help you determine whether something passes or fails. Again, this now means we have 5 different types of tests we could do. We could still do alphanumeric tests. We could still do combo tests. And now we could do combo tests. We still have numeric tests, again, greater than, equal to, less than, between, whatever. And then we still have Boolean true false tests. You know, just a comment, we have some clients that seem to use alphanumeric tests when it's really a Boolean test. Take this example here, right? Maybe the test is, it's a color test and it's red. The way this test should have been set up, some people could argue, was the color red, therefore I could just say yes or no. Or now maybe you might use a combo box. The 5th test type of test we have out there is the calculation test. And I keep picking on area. Where someone might be taking length, width, and height and doing some calculations, and then have that create a result which we're comparing it to. And you know, we could now do those, and it's really any arithmetic function, and then the user in terms of the event history is going to see, right, all of that information that they added. As long as I'm on here, just remembering that we can capture results and import results from outside tables. The other comment that was made was that capability to post orders without that. So if you want people to do that, you could just provide the security and keep it on the menu. And now what I'd be able to do is evaluate this item, and I would just go ahead here and post without inventory, and that would get the item through the process. So that was a little bit about combo boxes, talking a little bit about how we see people using these tests and not using these tests, as well as the feature that we've added to be able to post that. Remember, now though, if you are using all of the features of Acumatica and you post it without inventory transaction, and you have the location set up that you can't sell it, it's still going to be in this bin, and Acumatica is not going to allow it to sell it. So it's something that some people have asked for. It does work, or it is needed in some of our clients when standard operating procedures vary a little bit, but just be cautious when you turn that feature on. I'm going to go to test next and talk a little bit about this level of testing. There is now this area when we begin to see order level tests here. Now this could indicate by a sample. So what this is saying is that for this colored test, if we leave it at a sample and I receive 100 in and I have 5 samples, for every one of those samples, I'm going to have to answer the question, was the color correct? Did we get that C of A? If I put it at the lot level and we get in 2 lots, I'm going to say 1 lot with 15 samples on it. Now I'm just going to be prompted once. Did this lot number get the C of A? And if yes, I don't have to answer it 14 other times. The test area is, let's just say I've received an item and I've received 2 lots. So now there's multiple lots on that order. I could indicate something is at the order level, and I could go ahead and just indicate that, gee whiz, this item is going to be tested once for both lots. So that is where people begin to see the various options that we have for looking at how we configure tests to some extent make the process of entering test results far more efficient. I'm now going to go into the ad hoc order process, and I'm going to use one of my favorite items that people have seen me do demos on, this item. Notice how all of the information begins to populate. I will now need to know that I'm actually going to go to R1 S2 for an item. I've just indicated what plan that I'm going to make, and now I can indicate that what lot number I'm going to use for this particular item, and it's just going to go ahead and generate the order. So for those of you that were using this process before, there was some cases where you had to do a lot of clicking, fill in all those gaps. It won't suggest to you where that particular item was going to be located, etc. So hopefully that could help out as it relates to using ad hoc testing capability. As long as I'm on the ad hoc screen, I'm going to go ahead and indicate that I would like to test something. This item happens to be a TV. Again, we've received these TVs that are non-serialized, but there are serial numbers on it, and we're going to be recording the serial numbers when it's going to be shipped. So what I'm going to go in is I'm just going to say I went out there, I looked at this TV, I need to test this TV. This is where these user-defined fields will come in, because I could indicate what lot number, right, I'm looking at. So I have some history. Again, you're going to have to use reports in things to get this information out, right? Because if we're not picking the serial number, but now you could take a TV out of inventory, there's a way using standard Acumatica now to go in and use user-defined fields to say what serial number am I looking at for this TV. I can now do this test. I can evaluate, post it just like I normally will. And now there's going to be a record, and right, this is going to take me to the posting screen because I still have to put it back into inventory. But now there's going to be a record related to this particular item, this particular TV, where you're going to know the serial numbers that you actually have tested. So now you could use some generic inquiry if someone calls and complains that TV, serial number 12 has a defect on it. You'll be able to at least go into your system and you say, when did we get that serial number? Did we ever test it? When did we test it? What do we do? So that's been requested again for some of the people are there's distributing those items that want to be able to still do some QC testing, have some information on the history of testing that particular serial number, but again, it's not under Acumatica serial control. I'm going to go into quality control preferences. This is where you will see the capability to allow a person to bypass QC in these areas. What that would do is that when I'm doing a receiving QC now, if these are not checked, people can't unclick that box, which means it's going to go into QC. You can now engage this, and now it will allow that person to unclick that box and say that you're going to be putting it directly into inventory. Something that does come up periodically in presentations and in early sites, as long as we're on this screen, is auto-generate QC orders. That sounds good because the system could automatically do that. The issue now becomes, though, I've made a quantity, I have an order of 10 that I want to, and I'm making, and I only make 5. Well, the system was smart enough to say, well, you're going to make 10, you're going to inspect 10. So now I get a QC order out for 10, even though I only want to move 5. So this is a usability. It's a feature that quite a few of our clients, not really quite a few, but a number of our clients needed. But just be cautious that if you check this box, it sounds well and good. But now if you're someone that is partially completing work orders and need to test things a number of different times, this will cause some confusion to your operations, because they're going to say, wait a minute, I thought this QC order should be for 2. How come it's for 5? And then there's a couple other items there. I'm going to go to nonconformance and corrective action setup because we're going to get that in a minute. Notice now that we could create nonconformance corrective action processes for tools, machinery, etc. We are working on the fact of being able to create nonconformances when inspections fail. So you could expect to see that soon. I do want to go back because, again, part of these sessions are communicating what we're doing, what we've done, in some cases, things that have been out there for a while. I do want to point out, though, some people have asked, I'm going in here, in some cases I get 1 QC order, sometimes I get 2 QC orders. This lot just says that, let's just say a part came in and 2 tests failed. A lot says we are going to get 1 QC order for the people to go through the non-conformance and process to indicate what went wrong, why, etc. If you do it by test, now if 2 tests failed, you will get 2 separate and distinct non-conformance transactions for each test. I don't even want to guess in terms of how many people are using it by test or lot. I would say that the general preference for most of our clients is to do it by lot, because when they're looking at something, they want to holistically document what happened. But again, there's been some users that have asked this to be by test, so it is there, and it has been there for a while. Moving on to non-stocked orders, I guess before we even go there, let's make certain that people know that what the system does, and this is not meant to be preventive maintenance. But a feature that we added a while back is the capability to go in for a tool, for a machine, or a fixed asset. We are working on, I'm going to go back into the system. We are working on to allow QC to be done at the work center level. That will be coming out fairly soon. The reason why we need to do that is, again, I'm going to go to the tool screen. This is just indicating that we have this particular item. We need to calibrate it. And now what you could do is you could say by every day, every week, every month, every year, we need to alert someone, and following the same standard QC order process, we're going to give them a document and they're going to go out and confirm to us, right, that the item meets the specifications. The reason why we need to move that into work centers is particularly in food and beverage and medical devices. People every morning wake up and they need to make certain that the room was clean, it was sanitized, etc. So it's something I guess candidly we've missed, but we're going to be adding for those people that again need to document that the machine, etc. has been. I'm going to again say go back to the work center. Has been dealt with. So I just want to remind people that we have that, because now what you can do is that I'm going to go in and create rather than getting prompted for a particular order, which the system will do, I'm going to go in and indicate that I just want to decide to go out and test this particular tool today. And I'm going to generate the QC order, and I'm going to indicate that what the values are. And this is, I'm going to fail these. And I can evaluate these. I'm now going to post these. And now what you're going to see is, remember when we set this up, I pointed out that we wanted the non-conformance corrective action processes to be based upon the test, not the lot, not the order. So now you could see I'll get two non-conformance transactions and we could just work through those. In terms of non-conformance transactions, a couple of things have changed. Again, because people are using the solution for much more than just item defects. We now have non-conformance types. So now you could have non-conformance transactions unrelated, right? We could just have a customer issue, although I'll make a comment on a customer in a second. And then I could go in and I could indicate, which customer this is and which item are they complaining about. And I could put in a serial number, lot number, if I had any, and I could begin to have the process. Notice I can now do these for stocked items, tools, machinery, fixed assets. So again, a lot more capability here. I said I was hesitant in terms of a customer issue. This is more of an internal mechanism to go through. Clearly with activities and files, you could begin to send things and communicate back and forth, but our preference is still that when someone's dealing with a customer issue, it is probably best done within the Acumatica CRM system, as well as its case management system. More capabilities to communicate, different ways that you could exchange data more than you can through our system. But again, there's a variety of reasons why someone's still going to be able to want to get to the employee and other areas, right? Because now it's an employee, we could automatically do something for a non-stacked item indicating that they did something wrong. So again, I just wanted to look through and show you what's new in terms of the capability we've now added to non-conformance and corrective action to make those a little more meaningful. I'm going to go back into a QC order. Not that QC order. I just want to go to a QC order because there's been some questions on some values that we are putting into the system in units of measure. And on items, you begin to see the test unit of measure. I thought I had changed this on the sample, but this test unit of measure, and I'm purposely going to drag it way over here, is really is dealing with an issue that some of our clients have had. Oh, and this has been done, that's why it's there. But right, I'm looking at 110 to 120. Is this supposed to be done in grams, pounds, inches? What to some extent is the unit of measure of this? So this test unit of measure could also be added to the test itself, and it's strictly information. It has nothing to do with the sampling unit of measure, etc. It's strictly to say, okay, between this 10 and 20, what is this? Is it, again, ounces, pounds, grams, kilos, etc. That we think is something that we've needed to, again, make the life easier of a tester or a quality control person, because I now know what I'm testing. Something that does come up on presentations, particularly some people who are fairly heavily regulated. Whenever I do a presentation, they get a little bit concerned with seeing all these test results. They want to do blind test results. There's two things, right? Number one, you could just hide this on the screen so people can't see it. The other piece of though is that if we do go into preferences, there's a checkbox that is up here that's saying, do I even want people to see what the test results are? So again, a couple different ways to handle that, but it has come up, and sometimes people get a little bit concerned or say, wait a minute, you really can't deal with that, and I think we could do a much better job of that. Those are the main products that I'm looking at. So let me go through. This is the hardest. Another hard part for me is to say, I now want to go to screen 3. So I'm going to take a step back a little bit. We did look at ad hoc orders. We did go through, we didn't show this, but again, as we go through, maybe there's going to be a recording on now knowing that you could overproduce. This test unit of measure is something that some of our clients have wanted to help more efficiently, let people know what they should be doing. And we've talked about order level tests. We've looked at the product. Again, here's just a summary of what we've done in 24R1 and 24R2. What are we working on? We are working to improve QMS on the mobile app. More and more people want to do it, and we know we need to make some improvements. The one improvement that's not going to be addressed is that there's a lot of information on those QA screens. There's the capability of doing a lot of data entry on those QC screens, and our comment here is that most of our clients are mobile, but they're doing it on an iPad or some type of other device like that, right? It's the screen size, etc., that is always going to be an issue on the mobile app, but we'll be improving that. We're focused in on analytics and improving some business events. We're making some improvements to the vendor rating process. And beyond that, we are looking at going more into, let's just say, the quality assurance area of quality versus the product testing area. There's some other quality management systems out there that are more focused on, again, health and safety and training versus the product piece. The main focus that we had in Acumatica wanted to do was, because of it's a manufacturing distribution system, was, the quality system as it was initially designed or coming out of the box was to say we wanted to make certain that parts were made correctly and we weren't shipping bad parts. So that was the focus, and now that we're continuing to enhance but need to do more and more for that, we're going to focus on some of the soft areas. Something also that we are going to be improving upon, and it could end up being with 24R1, is that we are going to extend the features of the capability of testing machines to be closer to preventive maintenance, where work orders, etc., could be issued. So stay tuned in terms of that. We're just working out some details with the Acumatica and our own development staff. I think people know that one of the questions it always is we don't want to duplicate anything that Acumatica does. So in some cases, we have some good ideas and we decide not to do them because it could overlap or confuse people of, do I do this in what's in quality, what's in core Acumatica? So we're always going to be focused in on that. Questions. A question is, when is 24R2 available? The answer is now. Something that we are improving the language that we're using is that we are part of the Always Current program within Acumatica, and there's rules that Acumatica publishes about ISVs like ourselves being compliant with that. However, we are in a situation that within a week, a couple of days in theory, but for sure a week after Acumatica does come out with, let's just say 25R2 or 25R1, we do have a release that's compatible with that. Right? In some cases, people need to quickly upgrade because of a feature, function, whatever. But we can almost release a product the day or the day after Acumatica does. Understand that though when we release that product is being tested so that everything that worked in the prior version, everything that worked in 24R2 in this case, will work with 25R1. The release of the new features that we're adding will generally come out sometime about 4 or 6 weeks after that. Some people have asked why. Well, you know, Acumatica is making improvements, we're making improvements, and in some cases those improvements are based upon new things that Acumatica is doing, and we just want a little bit of a runway that, you know, the product is out and we could do some testing of that product. But again, 24R2 is out, and rest assured we're part of the Always Current program, and if you ever get in a pickle, if I could use that term, that you need to upgrade very, very shortly, within a day or two of Acumatica releasing their version, we're in a position to do that. Again, the new features that you might hear about being talked aren't going to be available for that. Question, combo box. Someone made a comment that combo boxes were nice. And I think the question relates to, is there an easy way to replace, excuse me, an alphanumeric test with a combo box? The answer is no. You'll just have to go in and create that combo box test, which used to be maybe an alphanumeric test, right? Picking that color. And you're just going to create that test, go to that test plan, create a new version of that test plan, and then you know, publish, make that active. You know, there's no way to do a mass replace for a variety of reasons. Bypass. I think the question relates to this capability to do QC tests for items where the serial number or lot number is applied during the shipping process. And does the traceability work? The answer is no. The traceability is not there. So clearly, because of some user-defined fields, you'll know the tests that were done on a serial number. So you'll be able to go back and look at it, but there's not a cradle to grave backward traceability. You're not going to be able to go in and say, I have this serial number 12 TV. Who was it bought from? When was it tested, etc. That does not exist, right? That only exists when you begin to issue serial numbers or lot numbers when the item's received, and then follow process. So again, the traceability piece is not solved by us allowing you to go ahead and test items where serial numbers are assigned at issue. Question about in-process testing. My comment, yes, the system does, and maybe we'll go through this next time, as we're kind of coming up to the end of the hour. The system is designed and has been since I think 24R1, to say that I've made 10 items. I'm trying to move them. 2 of them failed because they are the wrong size. So they're stuck in that work stage. And the system will now allow you to go through, and when someone reports those 2 are redone, will a test be, will a second QC order, work in progress order, get generated? The answer is yes. So what you would be able to see is a QC order that said, we did 10 and 2 failed. And then later on, you'll see a test come out that here's the 2 that failed. So that was some enhancements that we need to make. Question about process manufacturing. We once toyed with the idea of moving forward and doing these sessions, both, but there's quite a few things that we have done new in both areas. So it is during the month of January that we will be working on or having a session like this on process. Question, yes, bypass is there, and yes, we are working on some capabilities to deal with lot skipping. I think I had said that, but it's allowing you to not test a lot a second time, but we know that's not actually lot skipping. And I'm going to give another 30 seconds or so to beat. With that, while I give someone else a time to type in a question, we appreciate everyone being on this session. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions, just reach out to us or reach out to your partner. We appreciate the support and use of our product. All those awards that are on the screen aren't because of us. It's really because of something that we've done, and partners and end users have supported us. I wish everyone, hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving holiday. We wish everyone a happy holiday season, whatever holiday you're having. May you enjoy yourself and be safe and well. And we look forward to having a session like this in mid-January, focused in on what's new in process manufacturing, and then meeting up with many of you in Las Vegas at the end of January at Summit. So again, thank you for your time. Feel free to call and write, and enjoy yourself. Be safe until we see each other again. Bye.